Hello, my friends. It's another day of live channeling, which I absolutely love to do. It's when I'm at my happiest, and I'm hoping it is as rewarding for you as it is for me. Just gonna get a little music going here. That's right. Good morning, darling, my sweetie pie. Thank you. I'm so glad that you're here. Woohoo! You're like catching on to this thing. I'm really, really pleased. And I'm actually amazed because, I know it's a little out of uh your your general way of being. And so it's a bit of a spiritual stretch, but I think the divine puts in front of us exactly what we need to have. She's always supporting us. She's always moving us in the right direction. She's always nudging us to do something or be something, or study something or check out something and explore something. It's not a bad thing to check it out. I'm so glad to see you. All right. I think I better do some prayers here. So the AMA doctor I have, who I do actually really like, my GP, she had me do a bone density scan, and it came up that I had osteoporosis. So she wanted me to go on Fosamax, but I declined for the moment. Um, and I went to my Tibetan doctor who healed me of multiple sclerosis. So, I was like, let me just see what the Tibetan doctor has to say about this. And he put me on 1 cup of bone broth a day. And I use the bone broth powders from Bare Bones because it's got 10 milligrams of protein in it, whereas like a little box of the liquid stuff at Trader Joe's only has 2. And it also has 5 grams of collagen, which I think I've learned that I must need because I'm of a certain age. Anyhow, but also I think the bone broth is fabulous. It's very tasty, and I cook with it as well. And so I'm taking bone broth 1 cup a day and calcium malate. So there's a lot of different kinds of calcium in this world. Who knew? And so there you go. That's the inside story on Annie and bone density. Um, and I think probably in about 5 or 6 months, I'll have another test and see if anything's changed. All right, let's start with some spiritual stuff. Here's the expand to include page. Just take these words in and let them float around inside you, and let them find their way to the right place in your experience at this moment. Expand to include is a transformative concept that encourages embracing all aspects of oneself and one's experiences with openness and acceptance. It means broadening your perspective to incorporate not just the light and joyful parts of your journey, but also the challenges, fears, and shadows. Expanding to include circumvents the need to defend against, resist, manage, or overcome an experience or memory. It allows you to expand to include persons or groups with whom you disagree. And by expanding to include all, You allow for a fuller, richer experience of life. This approach fosters a sense of wholeness and integration, where every part of your being is acknowledged and valued. It's about accepting and loving all aspects of yourself and your journey, knowing that each piece contributes to your growth and spiritual evolution. Expanding to include welcomes you to approach life's experience with curiosity and compassion. Instead of resisting or avoiding the difficult emotions or situations, you are encouraged to welcome them wholeheartedly as opportunities for learning and growth. This mindset shift can transform how you interact with the world, can transform how you interact with the world. And foster resilience, empathy, and inner peace. By expanding your capacity to include all that life presents, you cultivate a deeper connection with your true self and the divine, enabling you to navigate your path with great grace and authenticity. And I do this free channeling event so that you can ask questions. So you find that there's a question crossing your mind, I wonder what this or that means. And please spit it out, share, remove all doubt and by opening your mouth. That's one of my brother's expressions. And he has a certain wisdom about him, doesn't he? I think it's a great phrase. Open your mouth and remove all doubt. Really, because I think we're so concerned about what others are going to think of us, or we're concerned that somebody could say, well, you should know this, or, what are you, dumb because you have a question? That's insulting. That's demeaning. I support you in having questions because questions are where it's at. Like, for me, it was daring to open the Akashic Records of the Lionsgate portal. And a couple of years ago, it would never have crossed my mind, or it certainly wouldn't have been like, oh yeah, I'll do that. But I tell you, it worked. And we had a marvelous event. I think it was very, very powerful and useful. I did put it in the comments below the live video on Facebook, so you can see the YouTube version, which will have the prayer properly placed. And then you'll get to read my notes that I wrote up to kind of guide myself through this activity, which was rather new way of doing things, so I didn't quite know what was going to happen. But we've got to do that. We've got to stretch out. We've got to expand. We've got to exercise the elasticity of consciousness, because we can move in lots of different directions. We can change what we need to change. Our perspective, first off, is always a good place to start. So with that said, I'm going to do some affirmations. Just sort of repeat after me. I and my soul are one. I trust my inseparable soul to love me no matter what transpires. The more I merge with my soul, the more healed and whole I am. Thank you, soul. Thank you, great creatress. My soul assists me with solutions, insights, and inspiration. My soul never abandons me in times of trouble. I trust my inseparable soul to stand by me. My soul has never and will never reject me. Unified with my soul, I easily trust that I am being divinely guided. This holds me steady and aligned with my divine purpose. The present moment is the only moment of power and interest. I affirm that this is a friendly universe in which I intrinsically belong. Receiving my divine instructions for this day. All thoughts, words, and deeds that most serve the divine and others arrive pre-formatted with the divine's impeccable timing, love, and strength of purpose. As I assimilate unification with my ever-loving, ever-loyal soul. And as I identify as my soul, many wonders become available. If you all are comfortable with this, since I'm not seeing any questions here, which I'm looking, doesn't seem to be Questions don't seem to be showing up. It's okay. We accept everything that is because that's what it is. That's the way it is. The divine's in charge. So here's another prayer. It can't hurt us doing more prayers, right? Oh, great creatress, divine birther of all, assist me to fully embody my soul's light. To see through your eyes, to love as you love, to know that which is eternally true and helpful. May my actions serve you, great creatress, further in your divine plan of love and unity with all life. And so it is. It's a prayerful morning today. That just seems like what's going on. And there's nothing wrong with that. Oh, here we go. We got a question. And I have to read it off the phone because it's not showing up on the laptop. Okay, let me see if I can get this right. I would like to be able to dull my pains in bad weather. The intensity can be overwhelming and prevent me from being. Touch the see more button. It can dull, it can prevent me from being my authentic self through the day and also stops my intentions. Is this something I can learn to do? All right. Well, acceptance is the first place because acceptance begins to neutralize any judgment about the pain. The pains are bad. The pains are symbolic. The pains are symptomatic of all this other stuff that's wrong. The pains are causing bad things in me or around me. The pains are running my life. The pain is my master, and I have to bow to it. Letting go of all those judgments. And then breathing. God is. I am. God is. I am. God is. I am. God is. I am. You can adjust the phrasing. You can create different affirmations in the breath that work for you. And I know, Teresa, you are a mighty spiritual gal, so I can trust you to see what you come up with. I am always open to that. You often, all the people, out there in Facebook land and YouTube land and that work with me, folks, you teach me a lot. Now, expand to include is another principle that is very helpful in this setting, because we're not trying to resist pain. We're not trying to change it. We're just trying to accept it and let go of any judgments we have about having it or experiencing it, all of that. Like, just be in 100% acceptance so that there's no resistance to what your experience is. And breathing into the pain. And also speaking loving words to the cells that are in the painful areas, the muscle spasms and the surgery healing points. I know there's a lot done to your shoulder in this recent surgery. I mean, that's got to be massive, Teresa. Uh, oh, good. You're tapping while you repeat this mantra. Good one. See, she's inventive. She added what works for her, tapping, this different places. And it's, you add to it who you are. You bring yourself to these suggestions. I'm just filtering suggestions, or I'm fielding suggestions, and some of them may work for people and some of them may not, and that's okay. But whatever we resist causes a certain tension and a it's a fearful, judgmental stance. This pain is going to get worse, it's going to get worse, it's going to get worse. Or my favorite, it's going to be like this forever. When I had a bad day with multiple sclerosis where I was just fatigued and I couldn't get anything going, I didn't even want to take the dog for a walk around the block. I was just like leaden, weighty, stuck in bed. When it was like that for me, I would think that it's going to be like this forever. I got to brace myself. And it's not. It's not going to be like this forever. It might be like this for the next 5 minutes. It might be this way for the next 10 minutes. It may be this way for half an hour, half a day, or this day. But each breath, each moment is an opportunity to say loving things to our bodies. I love you. I accept you exactly as you are. I am so grateful that you are here to carry around this soul experience, to live out my soul's growth plans for me, and to participate in this experiment that I signed up for. I'm so grateful that I have you as my bodily partner in this experience of being on earth as a soul, as a light being, as a point of light and consciousness. I am so happy that I got to have you. I am so amazed that this body heals so well and so completely. This body, I'm so grateful that it does what I've asked it to do all these years. Every moment, it will get up and go get me a glass of water. It will get up and read something spiritual that I want to read. It will get up and call my mother when I don't feel like it. My body is such an amazing servant, and I'm so grateful for its partnership. And that is a profound thing. Okay. Darla asks a great question here. How do I know my humanness is learning my intended lessons of my soul? Does that make sense? She says. Oh, and Lisa Davis also suggests expand to release. An excellent adaptation. It's like these things evolve and morph into even greater terms or more specific to the moment. All right. But I love Darla's question, and I really want to look at it from an energetic standpoint. How do I know that my humanness is learning my intended lessons of my soul? You know that your humanness is learning as because you feel more love. You're able to receive more love. You know clearly, and I'm speaking to you directly, Darla, you very much know what love is. You've experienced it, and you know when it's there and when it's not there. And that is a soul quality of being able to identify love. You know when you are in the lap of the divine, and your humanness might not quite understand the command, soul, take me to the lap of the divine, sit me in the lap of the divine. But your humanness will follow along, kind of like a well-behaved puppy. And the two of you will be sitting in the lap of the divine. And for you, Darla, you know that it's been the ability to love and care for those whom you love, like your parents and your beautiful husband before he died. You know that what you were giving him was love. Even on the days when you felt irritable or used up or finished or frustrated or just like, what the hell did I get myself into? What did I sign myself up for? You know, and somehow you came up with that love. That, and when you link into that infinite supply of love as it flows through you, when you open to receive love because you're empty and you don't manufacture love, the divine does. But if you go, okay, divine, you're going to have to help me with this, and you open to allow divine love to flow through you into whatever it is you're doing. And maybe it's the taxes, or it's sorting stuff of what to get rid of and what to keep, and or doing your physical therapy because your body needs to have the activity and needs to be exercised in special ways. You know that you are connected to the divine source of love, even when you are like unable to comprehend what is going on, or how can this possibly work out for my highest good? How is this rough, bumpy, torturous, unkind, traumatic thing working out for my highest good and my soul's evolution, my personality's evolution and my soul's evolution? And it's the ability to tap into divine love and know that you are absolutely correct in being tapped in to that divine love. You are worthy. You are destined. We're all destined to be in the flow of that divine love, and it is everywhere when we look for it. When the flowers bloom, that's divine love. That's the way divine created what we call nature, right? And we think we're separate from nature. We're not. We are nature. We are an expression of that divinely created nature. Page. No wonder I'm not seeing it live. Technology, you just never know what it's gonna hold. I was on the wrong, I was on my personal page. I wonder I couldn't see anything that you guys are writing. Oh man, you gotta laugh. I mean, really, really. And I think the ability to laugh at ourselves has a lot to do with knowing that you're evolving, not taking the little lumps and bumps so personally, like, geez, divine must really have it in for me, like or the divine's punishing me. The divine is not punishing you or anyone else for anything ever. You punish yourselves. We do it to ourselves. We like have decided and judged ourselves as being good or bad. And it's from that judgment and from that belief in good and bad that there is good and evil in us, around us, all that. It's the belief in that that causes us trouble. And the more and more evolved that your soul becomes, it becomes clear that there is only one source of power. There is only one power. There's not good and evil. There is not. That is a man-made concept. And it kind of flowed out of the Garden of Eden when Adam and Eve ate of the tree of good and evil, the tree of knowledge of good and evil. When they ate of the tree of knowledge of good and evil, that's when they became self-conscious, self-centered, fearful, and there was some kind of evil thing going on. So I have a beautiful affirmation I'm going to read right now. And if you can get this, you are evolving as a soul. If this even makes the least amount of sense to you, you are evolving as a soul. This affirmation reads this way. I will try to put this in the comments later as well. Or maybe I'll have Lisa cook up a beautiful artwork piece to put it on. Okay. Follow after me. Repeat after me. I reside in the Garden of Eden, my spiritual domain, in a state of divine harmony. The divine is maintaining her spiritual universe, and there is nothing wrong with it. I'm going to read it again. I reside in the Garden of Eden, my spiritual domain, in a state of divine harmony. The divine is maintaining her spiritual universe, and there is nothing wrong with it. Because the divine's all powerful, and her works are only good. And this is really, let me just look again to see how you in particular and how humans in general know that they are fulfilling their soul's purposes, or learning the lessons that they came here to learn. Then as we grow and mature and evolve as personalities, we are less and less convinced of our victimhood. We have all experienced just horrendous, torturous, tumultuous trauma. I mean, basically, you can put it like this. Mostly life is traumatic. It's just a matter of degrees about how bad it was for anybody. I mean, even including that whole birth thing. Like, let's squeeze an overly large object down through a very small aperture. Um, I mean, whose idea was that? And as we know we're evolving when we're not taking life so personally, or we're not bouncing so much between, oh, this is good and that's bad, and I got to align with this good stuff and fight against the bad. I tell you, do not fight against the evil in this world. You will not win. You will just get drowned in evil, because that's the nature of fighting. We watch it every day, day in and day out, hour after hour, minute after minute on television, is this good against evil, right? And nobody ever wins, because sooner or later the people who got dominated or killed off, or their family members got killed off, there's going to be revenge, because that's the nature of being stuck in the two polar opposites and limited to those two choices of good, evil, good, evil, good, evil. When we know that we live and move and have our being in the divine, who is love, and who is infinite supply, and who is infinite harmony. And we are swept up in this flow, and we experience it in ourselves. Then we are not a victim. The other thing I have realized over the years of doing lots and lots of readings, and when you say to people, and they go, "What do you mean I chose my mother? She's awful. She was horrible to me. She was disrespectful, and she was tortured me, and she, blah, blah, blah." And you're a victim here, right? When I tell people that as a soul, we sit around and we go, "Okay, I want you to be my dad. Okay, you're good with that. Get in the boat of my next life. You to be my mom. Okay, great. You get in the boat and be one of the key players in my next life. And you to be my sister, my brother, my best friend, my backup parents. You're going to be you. I need somebody who's going to really bring the light to me, so I can get it while I'm alive in a body." And that person just, "I'll do it," gets in the boat. And then we go, "All right, who's going to be my bad guy or my bad woman? Who's going to be that bad character? I need somebody who loves me enough to play the bad person in my life." And people, souls, actually, souls sign up and agree to play that part in your drama, because you said you needed. So they actually did it from a place of love, in service. Service. Because we dictated the plot, the plan, and we invited all those people to play their parts in our drama, our movie. And So we're all working on this together, you know? We are all doing this together. And we are not victims of evil. We may have experienced it as trauma, but in truth, that is not the sum total at all of who we are as souls in a body. We are pure. We are light. We are expressions of divine love. And the sooner we get tuned into that and take our eyes off of the good versus evil drama on TV or amongst our neighbors, the better life gets. And that's how you know that you are evolving as your soul has hoped you would evolve and has set you up to evolve. And I would say also that even if your life has gotten scaled back to some very essential points, and there are just a few close people in life who do really love and care about you, that is a sign that you are learning to hang around with people who love and care about you, not people who disrespect you, who disrespect themselves, who don't have to love, who are blaming, shaming, judging. And if they are that way outwardly, understand that the viciousness with which they are blaming, shaming, and judging inside of them is massive. Because if you're anything like me, I would punish myself to the nth degree, probably way worse than you would for any mistake or error I made that affected you or involved you somehow. Because I wanted to do the disciplining myself, and I am wicked when I do it. I'm harsh, very, very harsh, very judgmental. So let go of that. Nobody goes up before because they've been punished or criticized or critiqued into a corner. You know, we don't grow from that. We do grow from love and approval and a calm state of being and breathing deeper and honoring that the divine is working in our lives. And we just have to really tune our vision and tune our sensors to locate the good that is around all the time. It's like positioning your satellite dish, what do you want to tune into? Sports? Okay. That's just another example of good versus evil, winning versus losing. Okay, great. Or do you want to do One Life to Live, the soap opera, or, Dark Shadows? Or do you want to tune into how is the divine showing me love today? There's a thought. There's a good way to live life. You didn't know you were going to spark this kind of conversation, did you, Darla? This is great. Woo-hoo. Oh, let's see. Do we have any new questions? Just checking. Melena, thank you for being here. Yes, nature. She is such an example of the divine, always ability to evolve and adjust and adapt. Good morning. Fred Davis is even here. I'm so glad Teresa and Darla are here. I'm so glad Lisa is here. I mean, and what's on your mind is probably going to be on the minds of other people. And, whoever has the guts to write a question in is the one who wins, because you got to open your mouth and remove all doubt. And notice that as you mature or evolve, you're less likely to be judgmental towards others and more able to be open armed and accepting of others as different as they may be. And less judgmental with yourself. This is a great sign of evolving. You're so welcome, darling. It's for me, this is being what my soul had me come here to do. Totally. I'm going to put that tipping thing in the comments too, because to tell you the truth, I've made a decision moving out of my sweetheart's house, and he was incredibly generous with me. And I have increased my expenses significantly. So I'm actually tasked with having to make a living for myself. So, barring getting a job, God, please, that's not exactly what I want. If that's something you need me to do, I will do it. But I'd really rather do this because I love it so much. But you can tip me through the ko-fi.com link that I put in the comments. And I bless whatever minimal amount that you can afford into multitudes such that it multiplies for you as well as me. I bless it. It's money. It comes and it goes. And I try not to take it too seriously. The divine has been awfully good for these 67 years, keeping me on the planet, fed, housed. I got a car. I got a refrigerator full of food. I am okay. But I did change my circumstances a bit. That's going to really test that. Do I trust the divine to provide for me? This is a good question, isn't it? All right. If you want to listen to that 7:30 a.m. meditation, it's already up on my YouTube channel. Reverend Annie Batchelder, Psychic and Channel is the name of the YouTube channel, if you can remember all that. But put in Annie Batchelder in YouTube and you'll I don't think you'll get anybody else. And it's up there and you can listen to that, and it is a very, very healing meditation. The Angelic Healing Conclave showed up for us, and they did a meditation that along the way they made clear that it was dedicated to my granddaughter, Cameron Padilla. And I think you all will find it healing and pleasant and enriching. And the only other shameless self-promotion I got to do is remind you this month, August 2025, I knocked the price of 60-minute sessions down from 254 to 178. That's $76 off. And you can buy a 3-pack 76 for whatever 100 whatever's 178 times 3 is. But you can buy 3-packs and you can mix and match. Maybe you want to do a divine energy healing at one point, or you want to do an Akashic Records reading here, or you want to have an Anubis channeling, or maybe you just want a flat out psychic reading, let her rip. So take me up on this, because I don't usually drop the price that much. a lot. And I do it because I feel so good doing readings, and I want you to feel as good as I do. And I'm loving my life with all of you. Thank you. I think that's enough for today. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, where you go to buy readings is my website, anniechannels.com. Anniechannels.com. Or you private message me, DM me, whatever you want to call it. Get a hold of me and we can make arrangements. Or you can schedule yourself and we'll make sure you get that August reduced price. All right. Thank you. And I really, really appreciate you subscribing. It makes the difference. It makes it. I mean, this is the how the algorithms work. You gotta have subscribers and make it work. And I sure appreciate you helping me with that. Thank you.